Oh, ladies and gentlemen, the effort to get here this morning. And the problem is, this isn't even the in-game voice. This is me narrating. I've had issues after issues. Being a Linux Bob, you know how it be. But my voice, for some reason, got messed up with OBS. And then Blender just wasn't working. So I've then had to re-download a new editing software. Here we are. With the new updates in, huge changes, but most importantly, they've increased the chances of eggs. So giving the chickens a little bit of love, you'd think that they'd give me some love back. However, today is not the day. Hopefully, we will get some more back. But that's not all that was on today's agenda. For today, I wanted to go defeat both the bosses, continue messing around with base, and also continue with our little tests. And we've got one fantastic location. The other one, it's unconventional to say the least. But we'll get there, and when you see it, you're going to enjoy it. With the update came a new trap system as well. Traps can get placed at level 1 and then upgraded. That's something we'll see a little later though. They also added some new variations of traps as well, giving better opportunity for choke points. Let's just hope we can actually find some good choke point locations. I've got a couple of bangers in mind for future horde location tests, but that's for the future. Some changes have also been made to the bosses as well, and still in need of my pirate hat, I went over to Brownbeard. I must admit, I do really like that new intro. It's a little bit laggy, but that's probably my fault being on Linux and I don't know how to upgrade all my drivers and whatnot. Although, we wasn't quite lucky enough to get the pirate hat. But that's okay, we will come back for it. I just wanted to check around the back to see if any more loot was there and collect up the copper and coal that was in here. But after that, it was straight over to aparates. Let's see how we can fare against this guy. times. Panic nearly set in. That was close, but not close enough. Get in there, boys. Destroying the heart, we're halfway there, and it won't be long until we're in the castle destroying the third. For now though, with so much time left in the day, I wanted to try my luck at another shining scale. So it was over to Snakehead Mountain, and luck was indeed on my side, because we're on, baby. Then, given the new traps update and where I actually wanted to spend the night, I figured it was a good idea to get over there early and try and get something set up. Check this bad boy out. This is tonight's horde location, and going for some kind of a little choke point, this is what we finished with. The lewd lightning rods is something I was very excited about, and with it being a special horde night of just ground, I was even more excited, as this too is a new feature, with certain nights having special attacks, and once all the bosses are destroyed, an even harder horde night. And speaking of horde nights, how's this literal shed going to cope? Just like that, unfortunately, I got zapped. But it's okay, because I was thinking this time we can go back, we can try it again, and we'll be from underneath, and having a ceiling between me and the lightning rod, we won't get zapped. Well, that was the hope anyway. Did you guys also notice how the fairy bombs have just been nerfed out of existence? They do know that you couldn't even kill a meerkat with these things anymore. They are dead and gone. They're as bad as spears nowadays. Sheesh, you might as well get rid of them. Even still though, it gives rise and better opportunity to develop your own fighting skills. Speaking of fighting skills, let's put these skills to the test now, eh? Been off to a great start, and my arse absolutely fried by these electric pylons. We gotta get them gone. What happened to not being damaged by your own traps as well? After tonight's horde, I actually did go through and check the skill tree, and it appears that, yeah, you don't get damaged. I'm not being damaged by these traps. So, what kind of category do the electric pylons fall under now? So, will these develop their own skill trees? Who knows? Although, dealing with this, bigger issues for now. I can't even fight properly. was close indeed. Let me know what you think. Would you say that was a win or a bust? Personally, I would say that's probably 50-50. Maybe you could have no foundations in here and just traps on the floor, and it might work better. You just don't know. I'm willing to give it another try though. This is a fantastic horde base. Although the next one, tonight's horde location, guys. Oh, aye. Now there was a few things I did get up to throughout the day, i.e. crashing a couple of times when I was dealing with Aiden's quests, just going out farming and heading over to the desert. I went and met Amira, sorted out the armor for Thor, but because I have no voiceover, I figured it would probably just be better to skip over it because it will be boring to watch and show you guys tonight's horde location. Now, again, because we're doing tests, this was a wild test. This was something a bit different, a bit abstract, and I gotta say, we have found a little gem. Let's get over there and check it out, yeah? And voila, here is our location for tonight. Just the tip. Nah, the idea was hoping that because we're on a boat, that they would have to find their way up onto the boat, giving me a better opportunity of fighting them one-on-one, mano to mano, easy peasy lemon squeezy. Although it turns out that this is about as hard as it gets because there is no way for them to get up to me. And with the fairy bomb having been nerfed out of existence, all I can really do is just tickle their bumholes. So, yeah, unfortunately, this is well and truly an AFK base. Horde location. That guy there is probably the only guy that manages to get up here. So, yeah, not too shabby. Now, I must admit, guys, I do want to apologise for this being a bit of a crappier episode. All it was is my girlfriend was over, so I did my recording, and then I had to do the editing and try and publish it already the next day. And when it comes to editing, I realised that the voiceover was completely janked up. For whatever reason, I'm not too sure as to why that was. And then when I was trying to use a blender, or for reason was and in the end, I was actually going to change my whole distribution system. I was going to change to Rocky Linux, and then I was like, no, let me try and find some other stuff. So now I'm using Kden Live, and I must admit, I've only been using it for about 4 hours, and it is so much easier, just so much less stressful to work with. But I'm also working on a couple of other projects as well. I don't want to give anything away, but next week we're going to be seeing a new series popping onto the channel, and I'm really looking forward to it coming out, man. I've just realised I've done a lot of the editing in Blender, and now I'm going to have to redo all of it in Kden Live. The struggles, man. But at least the struggles ain't half as bad as you know, it's just the way it goes. But this base location, I'm pretty safe. We can say this is an AFK base. In fact, it got so boring that I was trying to test the waters, and in the end I decided to go back onto shore. Just because, you know, less than 50 kills, it's kind of embarrassing. Although, this is what we're here for. We're here for the tests. We're trying to see what locations are good and what locations are bad. We can definitely say that this location is a bad location. I would stick to the waterfall base for an AFK base because that's just nice, it's convenient, it's easy to get to. It's not so much, so it's your choice. But heading over to the beach, I'm going to try and zombie a little bit more mano to mano, face on. Not too bad in the end, at least we survived. But of course, we had to get them fragments. I have not forgotten about them. In fact, I'm thinking what we could do, because they've now introduced the sneak mechanic, if it gets a little bit more well polished, what I'd really like to do is do a sneak mission into the castle to collect that transformer. But here you can see with the flame, that's where you can try the new hard mode nights, and that is something we'll definitely be trying. Although, having made a few changes to base, I'm going for an open core interior. This is what we're going to be trying to go for. And in the next episode, I'm going to play with it a little bit more, as well as try our better base locations. But guys, I hope you found some enjoyment out of today's episode. The amount of stress I've been through, oh my god, it ain't even worth it. But guys, I'll catch you in the next one, man. Have a good week, all the best, stay frosty, peace out.